Hello, good evening, everyone. Thank you for attending the Zoom for retirement information session with Joseph. And I want to welcome newcomers to the Zoom, Azzy and her husband Alan, and Malu, and Kuya Kuch from US, Ivy, and Lisa Chang. Welcome, guys. Um, we will be learning a lot of things tonight, so make sure you take down notes. Okay, because I'm taking down notes. I'm retiring in 9 days. I'm still taking down notes. So I will give the floor to Joseph. Go ahead, Joseph.
Thank you again, Ate Ying, and again, much appreciated you hosting this event. So yeah, let me just share my slide. I did put together some slides for you. Let me just quickly bring it up. Hold on, just bear with me here for a sec. So I hope everybody's doing well. I guess welcome to our Canadian and our U.S. Participants. Kuya Kuch, I think, is the only one from the US. So welcome here. So today or tonight, I'll be just sharing with you some of the retirement planning information that I have learned over the past few years. This has been my forte, I would say, for many, many years. So let me just share this slide. Hold on. Where's my slide? Okay, one more there. Let's share. There. Okay. Please let me know if you see my slide. You guys see it?
Not yet.
Not yet?
There you go. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, so this is really a retirement planning exercise where I hope you guys will learn something from tonight. Our intent here at the Ying and myself, where I really give you some insights, create awareness, and really educate all of you in regards to retirement planning. So I said financial literacy episode 22 because I've been doing this for 22 weeks now or 23 weeks now, I think, in terms of financial literacy. So I'm just going to post this as well in my YouTube channel. So just a little bit about me for those of you who might not know me. This is my family. I'm born and raised in Manila, Philippines, migrated here in 1980 in Canada. I'm a proud husband with two young adults here that you can see. I am a retired IT professional from the banking industry. I worked for one company for 3 years, for 3 decades.
Three
Uh,
years.
yeah, 3 decades, 3 long decades. And I'm a financial coach, a real estate and a stock market investor. And I love to travel with my family and especially watching them play their favorite sports, right? So I used to coach them when they were a young and toddler. And those were great memories for me when I was with them all the time. So just a reminder for all of you, um, we will have, at the end of this presentation, we will have questions and answers at the end, okay? So I would ask you if you could just hold your questions until the end. We will make sure that we have time for questions and answers. And then a disclaimer, just to let you know, I'm not a certified financial advisor. I'm only sharing this information for awareness educational purposes, okay? This information is in reflection on what I have learned and experienced throughout my years in the banking industry. So I'm self-taught, actually self-taught on financial planning, retirement planning, um, and financial literacy. Okay, so I would highly suggest that whatever you learn here, really, if you are really wanting to obviously look at your retirement planning seriously, make sure that you consult with the financial advisor, the professional financial advisor, and accountant. So one thing that I would say though is the difference between myself, a financial coach, and a professional financial advisor is that the only difference is that they're selling you something. I don't intend to sell anything. I'm just here to educate all of you because my goal is to educate you, to empower you with information so that you can have meaningful conversation with the professionals. Okay, so that's really my goal is really to just share my knowledge to everyone. So this slide, it's just mentality and behavior are crucial, right? So this, I'm not going to spend too much time on this, but in this digital business, we talk about mindset, right? So having positive mindset, mentality, going through your retirement planning, you must have it. Okay, you must be dedicated, committed, and disciplined with consistency, of course, in terms of following up through your whatever you need to do in terms of retirement planning, and also following up with your goals. You want to make sure that you meet or you reach those goals in retirement, right? Being assertive, being inquisitive is very, very important because it is a learning journey. So I will tell you guys, the financial literacy or retirement planning, it is a journey. It is a journey, and it's just a matter of knowing all the terminologies, learning about what the do's and don'ts. But if I can do it, everybody can do it because it's not difficult. It's really not difficult to learn this retirement planning. Okay, the rest are being frugal, obviously being wise with your money investment, and obviously taking accountability and responsibility for your destiny, right? Because this is a journey, like I said. So this is financial literacy, right? So it's a big topic. It's a big what do you call it? Journey that you have to undergo. But we're only talking about retirement planning today. But this financial literacy is actually a process in which it starts with the budgeting, letting you know what your lifestyle is, right? Because of your expenses. And then that whatever budget that you have, it becomes that it becomes an output, or sorry, it becomes an input towards financial planning. And whatever financial planning exercise you do, it becomes an input for investing. And whatever input you have for investing, it goes into retirement planning and so on. So, and then goes into real estate planning. So what I'm saying here is that this is a journey within the financial literacy space, but we're only talking about retirement planning, but there's more to it that we can discuss later on, is what I'm saying. Okay, because it all ties in. All of these you can call process or boxes ties in all the way into estate planning. So whatever you do with budgeting, financial planning, investing, it doesn't go to waste. It becomes part of your journey, is what I'm saying, all the way to estate planning. Okay, so that's why it's very important to really follow the process. Okay, so retirement planning and income for your future. So this is the pretty much what I'm going to go through with you tonight. What is retirement planning and why is it important? Example of goals during retirement, because I always get asked by people, can you please give me an example of goals for retirement? When you meet with your financial advisors or retirement planner, they're going to ask you this question. Okay, so I'm just going to give you a few examples. Okay, there are 3 stages to retirement, which I'm going to show you. Excuse me. There are 5 sources of income in retirement. I will also show you that. There's also the registered versus non-registered. I figured, this is pretty much a very important topic when it comes to registered and non-registered when it comes to retirement. So I figured I wanna just do a little explanation on this topic. Some tax advantages and drawbacks, of course. So remember, I don't know if all of you heard this, but the previous taxation Zoom meeting that we did, I did talk about, during retirement, there's 2 things, really 2 important things that you need to keep in mind. One is to lower your taxes during retirement, and number 2 is to save your income, right? As much as you can, save as much as you can during retirement. So those are the 2 things which I'll talk about in terms of tax advantages. The will and power attorney is very, very important. I'm just going to quickly go through that, especially in Canada, but in the US, it's will and the trust. Will and trust applies more in the US, whereby in Canada, it's will and power attorney. Okay, beneficiary and account succession holder. So this is another thing I want to explain to all of you because a lot of people miss this one. I'll just quickly go through Canada taxation with you. I'll just show you how, if none of you know about how taxes are sort of done in Canada. This is more of just showing you how it works in Canada, and then questions and answers later on. Okay, so why or what is retirement planning, right? It's really a process of preparing you for your life after your working years, right? That's what really is. It really just something that will should give you a peace of mind, right? It also not just about saving money, but also deciding on what kind of lifestyle you want when you hit retirement. Also planning how you spend your time, right? Making sure that you have enough income to support your needs, especially when um, obviously you want your income to support you all the way until throughout your lifespan, I should say, right? So making sure that you have enough money, pretty much, right? And then thinking about your health, your family, and long-term goals, right? And that's the reason what retirement planning is really meant for. Now, I mentioned in a nutshell, in simple terms, um, retirement planning is really about designing the future for yourself, and so you can live comfortably and sort of a peace of mind, right? So a lot of people will ask, well, why is it important? Well, I just mentioned to you, right? To make sure that your savings will last you a lifetime, right? That's very, very important. And to have freedom of choice is the other thing. Handling and managing your unexpected expenses. So obviously, when you get older, obviously you want to make sure that you have enough to support your medical bills or expenses, right? Moving forward. I already mentioned about to maintain and changing your lifestyle during retirement. Hopefully, you don't have to. Some people, when they do a proper retirement planning, they don't really have to change their lifestyle as much. The only thing that they change is probably reducing some of their travel expenses and stuff like that. But other than that, a lot of people who has retirement planning, they really just do whatever they want to do, like as if what they were doing before, and they just allow their health take care of the rest. Meaning, if they're going to be mobile, then they travel, but if they're not as mobile, then they don't. Right? I mentioned about the peace of mind, but the last thing is just like I said, it's not just about the money. It's about creating the life to look forward to, waking up every day, right? And soon that's going to be Ati Ying's lifestyle. So whenever you meet with a financial planner or retirement planner, they're going to ask you, so what are your goals? Because it starts with the goals, right? That's how whoever you meet, whether it's a financial planner, financial advisor, investor, uh, whatever it is, they're going to always ask you, well, what is your goal, right? So this is just examples of what you could put down as your goals in retirement, right? To save your hard-earned money, to pay less taxes, I mentioned, to live comfortably, to give a peace of mind, to retire early, enjoy life, and to leave inheritance. I mean, there could be more. You could have more other goals, but this is just examples that I've seen a lot of people document in their retirement planning. Okay, so I'm not sure if a lot of people know about this. There are three stages to retirement. Three stages. One is your go-go years. Typically, it's 65 to 75, but there are a few people obviously to retire early, so they can retire at 60. So you can say your go-go years is from 60 to 75. That's good 15 years of your life, right? Enjoying retirement. So this stage is typically where you spend a lot of money uh, during retirement, because this is when you travel. This is when you want to do certain hobbies, whatever, right? And you're also fully mobile at this point. You hope that at the age of 60 to 75, you are still active and you're still mobile, right? Then you go into the slow go years, which is the second phase of your retirement or second stage of your retirement. It's typically the age of 75 to 85, right? Here, where you're a bit less mobile and less active to travel, right? And may require travel and medical insurance, because once you hit at the age of, I believe, either 75 or 80, once you reach that age, you need to get travel insurance or medical insurance, right? Because your credit card or even your um, previous employer might not have the benefit that covers you at that age to travel, okay, for travel insurance and medical insurance. So it typically gets a little bit expensive now when you reach this age of slow go years, okay? So that's why less and less people travel, and they choose maybe something more of you know driving on the road or something like that, and less travel hassles. And then the last stage is really the no-go years, which is 85 plus, right? At this point, you're probably not mobile at all, and you may have some health issues, more costly on travel, like I said, more costly travel and medical insurance, and more savings go towards your medical expenses, right? In this type of age. So a lot of people, when they do retirement planning, they have to think about these stages. Okay, you have to think about, okay, you know what, the first stage is really where I really want to be traveling most of the time and more time and spend, the quality life that I want, and then and so forth and so forth. So slow go years is less, and then no go years is obviously. Hopefully that doesn't happen to all of us, but unfortunately, it's the inevitable, right? At the age of 80, 85, we don't know how healthy we would be, right? So yeah, those are the three stages of retirement. But this slide here is also very, very important. What are the five sources of income in retirement, right? So the first thing is the old age security, right? Along with the guaranteed income supplement. Now in Canada, we have this old age security that is based on number of residents in Canada. So if you are in Canada at the age of 18 and you stayed in Canada minimum of 10 years, you will qualify for old age security. Now, if you stayed more than 10 years, would be better. If you stayed for 40 years, you will get the maximum. And the maximum pay in old age security in Canada is $743 at the age of 65. Okay. Now, I included guaranteed income supplement here because guaranteed income supplement works hand in hand with old age security. Okay. You cannot request for a guaranteed income supplement without old age security. So it has to happen at the age of 65 with GIS. And GIS, you have to qualify if you are on the lower income tax bracket. I think it's 22,000 or below, you will qualify for GIS. And I believe if you're a couple, I believe it's about 42,000 or something like that, the minimum household income. So if you're over that, then you're not going to qualify for GIS. The GIS payment is typically about $1,100 every month per person. So it's a very huge benefit for qualifying for GIS, right? But you cannot get GIS without old age security, okay? The next income source is the Canada Pension Plan or Quebec Pension Plan, right? So Canada Pension Plan is something that we all contribute to. If we are working for an employer in Canada, we have to contribute to CPP, and the employer also contributes on your behalf. And after you retire, there's that nest egg of how much money you'll get. The maximum in CPP is, I think it's about $1,200, $1,300 per month right now, per person, right? That's the maximum. But the average payout of CPP is about 800 something. That's the average, okay? So workplace pension plan, this is if you have a defined benefit or defined contributory with your employer. Now, I know if you're working as a nurse, they do have this plan. If you're working for a corporation that has this plan, I highly, highly recommend to take advantage of it because the employers puts in their portion of it. So the employee would put in a portion, and then the employer would put in either half or whatever percentage that they would put in to match the employee's contribution. So it's a very, very good pension plan to have as your secondary pension when you retire. The other one is the Registered Retirement Savings Plan, the RRSP, and Registered Retirement Income Fund, right? It turns into a RIF. The RRSP turns into a RIF when you want it to convert it or when you even reach the age of 71, okay? The government forces you to convert all of your RRSP at the age of 71 to RIF. And then it now becomes your guaranteed income from there. But you can actually convert RIF even before 65. It's just that you're not forced by the government until age of 71. Okay. Now, retirement savings plan is very, very important as well because it is tax deferral, right? For every contribution you make on a yearly basis, based on your 18% earned income from the previous year, you can contribute that much to RSPs. And when you contribute, you get a tax refund. But it is a tax deferral. So I mean, people sometimes have misconception about RRSPs where it's really just a tax deferral. You still pay taxes on RRSP. You just have to, you just defer it until when you're ready to start withdrawing it. Okay. Now in the U.S., RRSP, there's equivalent in the U.S. It's called 401k. Okay, so Kuya Kuch, if you want to compare, RRSP is the same as the 401k in the U.S. So the other one is the tax-free savings account, a TFSA. So this is one of my favorite because this is really tax-free. So whatever money you put in here, this is after tax dollars, right? Whatever money you put in here, the growth within the TFSA is actually tax-free. And to me, this is a very advantageous vehicle to start investing in because it's tax-free, right? And I think it really has a very good what do you call this? It has a very good advantageous uh, treatment altogether for any Canadians because what you can do is you can actually withdraw at any time, right? TFSA you can withdraw at any time, but whatever you withdraw within that same year, you cannot put it back. So you would have to wait until the following year to put it back. Okay. TFSA is the same as Roth IRA for our US counterpart. Roth IRA is the same thing with TFSA. Okay. The other thing that income sources that I would say too and worth mentioning is the FHSA. So it's a first time home buyer savings plan, right? This one is a maximum of $40,000, but it's a hybrid of RRSP and TFSA. So whatever you contribute to FHSA up to $40,000, you get a tax refund, right? So it works the same way as the TFSA, where you can withdraw it, and there's no taxes when you withdraw to use it for buying a home or something like that. Okay. The good thing about the FHSA as well is that after 15 years, if you don't decide to buy your home, I mean, again, this is for first-time home buyers, right? But if you decide not to buy your home and you have this $40,000 in this FHSA, then you can roll it over to TFSA, after 15 years. So your money didn't go to waste, but you also got the tax refund out of it. So I think it's a good investment vehicle. You can save on taxes, and you can also apply it into our TFSA or buying a house, a home. Okay, GIC, GIC is really now these days is not as popular because of the interest rates are so low. It's GIC are based on bonds, right? So when the interest rates are low, the bonds are also low, right? Because that's what it's based on. And typically, it is a guaranteed income certificate. But the problem is that any growth in this GIC is fully taxed, 100% taxed. So it's as if you're earning a salary or wage, because as you know, in Canada, our wage is 100% tax. The same thing with GIC. The growth of it is 100% tax. So to me, I'm not really a big fan of GIC because of that. One, it's you have to pay taxes on the growth, and it's a very low rate of return, okay, because it's based on interest rates. Dividends, I do kind of recommend, and this is really for a lot of retirement, a lot of retirees, I should say, are using because dividends, no matter if the stock value goes up or down, you still get paid dividends by those companies, right? So dividends to me is really, really good vehicle to have. However, it takes a long time for you to increase the capital, right? Because it takes time for you to build up that capital for you to get good dividend payouts, right? But dividends to me is one of those good vehicles for those that are retired. Okay. Okay, so I'll just quickly mention this. I know a lot of people will say, well, what's the difference between registered and non-registered? Really speaking, the difference is that registered accounts, so RSPs, TFSA, FHSA, right? GI, they are registered, right? Tax sheltered, offered by the government. They are registered through the government, right? And because they're registered, because you get, either tax deferral or tax benefits from it. Okay, the non-registered ones are really, your stocks, your mutual funds and stuff like that. They don't offer any tax benefits, and that's what non-registered are really. But they're they're flexible, but no contribution limits as well, right? So they are flexible vehicles, but there's not much of a contribution limits associated with a non-registered. So yeah, an example of registered is the RSP or TFSA, right? Again, it's government um, registered and supported. And then you have your example about the RSPs. You contribute to an RSP to lower your tax income. And in a non-registered account, you don't get the tax deduction, right? Because it's all just shares, and you won't get the tax deduction if you are investing in a non-registered portfolio, okay? And those are just really mainly stocks or shares from companies. Okay, so quickly, tax advantage and drawbacks, right? So again, registered accounts allow tax deferral, so RSP and 401k in the US, and then tax-free growth, tax TFSA and Roth IRA inside the accounts. Advantage is that your investments can compound without being taxed yearly. So that's a very, very good investment vehicle, because a lot of people may have this misconception or misunderstanding about RSPs, that they don't believe it's a good vehicle. Well, you have to use the RSPs in the manner in which it benefits you when you're retired. So a lot of people will say, well, you know what, I'm retired and I have to withdraw my RSPs, but I'm still paying taxes. Well, that's because RSPs are tax deferral, right? It is tax deferral. So you just defer your taxes, and you still have to pay taxes when you start collecting it. Now, the best way to take advantage of the RSP, if you retire early, because when you retire early, you can delay your old age security, you can delay your GIS, you can delay your CPP. If you delay them and you start withdrawing your RSP, you are on a lower tax bracket. The moment that you have your CPP, old age security, or GIS, with withdrawing your RSP, that defeats the purpose, because now you're going to be on a higher tax bracket because you have multiple income. So the best way to take advantage of your RSP is if you retire early and defer the government benefits. Okay. I hope that resonates with you guys. I mean, we can go through some of the questions and answers later, but it's something that I highly recommend for everyone. And there's obviously some tax implications with RSP when the last surviving spouse passes away. So we can talk about that later on. So the drawback is that you pay tax on withdrawals except TFSA. So TFSA, because there's no tax on TFSA or FHSA, you don't have to pay taxes on them. And unregistered accounts may incur taxes on interest, dividends, and capital gains as they are realized. So this is when when you buy stock and the prices of the stock has gone up, you have to pay capital gains now on the growth, right? But the capital gains on the non-registered is only 25% taxed. So what happens is that the government will tax you 50% of the gain, right? But it works out to about 25% because it's only half of the gain you pay taxes on. Okay, so let's say you had a good example is, let's say you had non-registered shares for, let's say 100,000, right? And it grew 50,000. Okay, so 150,000 total, right? So 50,000 is the growth, and the government will tax you in capital gains 50%. So 50% of 50,000 is pretty much half, right? So you only pay capital gains half of that. Okay, that's really, so it's really 25% only tax that you pay on the capital gains. Yeah, so that's the sort of the example. You sell your stock in non-registered account and pay tax on the gain inside the RSP. Gains are sheltered until withdrawal. So that's very true too. So if you have mutual funds or ETF within your RSP, you don't pay taxes until you withdraw it. Okay, that's very true. But on a non-registered one, if you sell your shares, then you pay the capital gains on the gain, okay, which is 50%. Okay, almost done. So will and power attorney. So this is very important. So in the US, will and trust are two most important documents for, you can say, retirement planning and estate planning. But in Canada, will and power attorney are very, very important. There's two things in a power attorney. Okay, there's two things. There's property, investments, and whatever assets you have. That's one power attorney. And then there's the personal care one as a power attorney. Personal care is for your medical and for your mental state. You need someone to be able to be your, you can say, I can't say beneficiary, but somebody that can make decisions for you when you are not able to make decisions because of your health, right? So personal care is very, very important. So let's say, heaven forbid that, you happen to have a stroke or whatever, and you could not recover and you cannot make a decision. Personal care is very, very important. And then the property side, it's more about the investments and assets, and somebody need to deal with the bank or somebody need to be dealing with your investments. That's the property side, the asset side. You need that power attorney. Okay. So this is a fact. Only 50% of Canadians have will and power attorney. So without the will, okay, without the will, the estate can take over all of your assets and the disbursements of assets. Because remember, will is really about disbursements of assets. Who you want to give your assets to, whether your daughter, your son, your family, your nephew, nieces, whatever. That will provide guidance to the executor of the will to work with the estate attorneys, and they will follow the documented distribution of assets. Okay, so it's very, very important. Now, the distribution of assets should also have percentages or amounts that you need to document in your will. Meaning, if you have a daughter and son, you will say 50% to my daughter, 50% to my son. Like that kind of distribution of assets is very, very important. Okay, so that's the will. Now, the power attorney, if you don't have one, and for some reason, something happens and you need someone as a guardian or whatever, with the POA, it saves you from going to court for applying for guardianship, which will cost you $15,000. And that's the rate right now in Canada. Okay, without the POA, you have to go to court and apply for guardianship, which costs $15,000. So that's why the POA is very, very important, right? The will, as I mentioned, protects your assets and family from the estate taking over and making decisions for you. You don't want the estate to make decisions for you. Should anything happen to you, especially when the last spouse dies. Okay, the surviving spouse dies. So the executor follows the instruction of the will based on the documented asset disbursements. Again, the most important thing about the will is the asset disbursements, because that's what the estate want, and that's what obviously our government wants us to take over the assets in which they can allocate themselves to whoever it is that they want. Having a will also avoid delays and costly penalties. Okay, you hear a lot of things from families who had undergone this whole ordeal, and they say they paid so much penalties and cost them a lot of delays because there are also interests that you have to consider. If things are not being decided upon and things are not going, it's not being decided by the state or whatever, and it's somehow, some way, it's owing to the CRA, because you have to declare all of your income as an income when the last spouse dies, the last surviving spouse dies. Well, there's interest in that, and that interest can cost you a lot, especially if it takes months and months or years to settle with the estate and CRA. Okay, so there are penalties, heavy penalties to pay. So I added in here. And so when I know you'll probably ask the question, when to get a will or a POA, right? Power of attorney. Well, to me, as soon as you have a family and as soon as you have assets in your portfolio, it's time to get a will and a power of attorney, right? You should always have that because it's really a safety net for you and for your family. Okay, just in case if that question comes up, I sort of have the answer for you. So importance of beneficiary and account successor holder. Okay, so in every investments that you have, whether it's RSPs, mutual funds, ETF, stocks, whatever, there should always have a beneficiary designation. Beneficiary are the people that will receive the funds should anything happen to you. Now, the beneficiary document overrides, supersedes your will. So you got to make sure that your beneficiary documents with the financial institutions or wherever you have your investments have the same asset disbursements, the same as your will. Okay, so let's say your will says, my asset investments will go 25% to my son. Well, that beneficiary document with that financial institution should also say the same thing. Should say exactly the same thing, because you don't, unless you want it differently, but I don't see how and why. But you got to just make sure that the will is in sync with the beneficiary documents with the financial institutions where you have your investments. Okay, that's very, very important, because like I said, beneficiary documents with the financial institutions will override or supersede your will. Account successor holder. Sorry, there's a typo there. Account successor holder. So this applies for TFSA. And without an account successor holder, if something happens to you or if you die, that TFSA investment will not automatically roll over to your surviving spouse. It will not. It will not. It may just apply the beneficiary. So let's say if you had a beneficiary, it will just probably apply to the beneficiary, but you could work with a lawyer or with the financial institutions to transfer that to you, because it should roll over to the surviving spouse. The TFSA should automatically roll over, but without the account successor holder, it will not roll over automatically, and the financial institutions may give you a hard time. Okay, so that's why it's very, very important that when you have a TFSA, you have an account successor holder in the TFSA, and that's different from beneficiary, because beneficiary are those who will receive the disbursements of assets. Okay, the account successor holder is typically your spouse or someone, common law partner. Those are the only two designations that you can have, either your spouse or common law partner as a successor holder. Okay, on TFSA. Okay, so let's see here. Yeah, I sort of mentioned if the spouse dies, the proceeds will go transfer to the surviving spouse. Yeah, in a perfect world, it should roll over, right? The TFSA should roll over to the surviving spouse. Beneficiary will receive funds once the surviving spouse or common law partner dies. Yeah, so hopefully that's clear. I think that my last slide here is really the taxation, right? So for those of you who may not know how the Canada taxation, what is sort of a called a marginal tax type of calculation, right? So for those of you who may not know, in Canada, we pay the highest taxes, probably the top 5 in the world, unfortunately. But the way it works is that if you are in a tax bracket, let's say if you are in a tax bracket of, 53,891 to 58,000, that's how much tax you pay, which is, let's see here, this is for 2026, okay? So you pay 23.15% tax, right? Now, if you earn $1 more, or if you earn more than 58,523, which is on the left-hand side here, right here. If you now earn, let's say, 59,000, which you fall under here, you will fall under that tax bracket. That whatever $1,000 addition, you will pay 29.65% for that additional $1,000, whatever. Okay, so this is called marginal tax. For every dollar that you make above your tax bracket, you pay a higher tax, marginal tax. Okay. So that's how our progressive Canadian taxation work is that for every dollar you earn um, above your range, right, your tax bracket, you pay a higher tax amount or tax percentage. Okay, hopefully that clarifies things because a lot of people mistaken that they think that if they're earning 59,000, they pay 29.65 out of that 59,000. No, you've paid a 58,523, the first 58,523 at 23%, and then the other $1,000 whatever you pay $29 29.65%. Okay, and that's what we call marginal tax. Okay, now the problem is that when you pass away, so let's say your surviving spouse, the last surviving spouse passes away, CRA deems that all of your assets has to be declared as your income. So imagine if your assets are 220,000 or 258,000, right, when you pass away, right? Or let's say the worst case scenario, let's say your assets are 260,000 in total. We're talking about assets here, not just cash assets, right? Let's say your total is about 260,000 or more. You're paying this much taxes, which is the highest tax rate that you will ever pay, 54%, right? 54%. So what you want to do is, that's why retirement planning is very important, along with obviously estate planning, is that you don't want to be in this situation here. You don't want to have 260,000 plus of assets when you pass away, because you are going to get dinged. You're going to get charged 54%. That is the highest tax bracket that you'll have to pay. This is why a lot of people try to plan their retirement, is so that they can avoid paying the high taxes. Now, that's only income tax. We haven't even talked about probate probate tax, which is 1.5% of your assets, right, of your net worth. That's another, but I mean, that's 1.5% in Ontario, in BC and Alberta or Calgary. Yeah, in BC and Alberta is only $500, $700, I think, but in Ontario it's 1.5% of your asset. So Ontarians are paying a lot when it comes to probate. So that really wraps up. That really wraps up my presentation. I'm sorry it took so long. This is just the references where I get my information from. Obviously, CRA is also one of them. But we're on to really Q&A. I hope that didn't bore you too much. So, any questions for you guys? By all means, feel free to ask them.
You can you remove the screen now?
Oh, sure. Sorry, stop sharing.
So we can see everyone.
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead. Whoever have a question, raise your hand.
Don't be shy. Don't be shy. Don't be shy.
Oh,
Mary?
Hi.
Hello.
Hi. I have a question. Nakakabigla. Oh, we have a non-Filipino here. About the RRSP. Let's say we're contributing the RRSP because the accountant advises to contribute so that to lessen our paying taxes at the end of the year. But I heard what you said. I heard other people saying, "Oh, if you have contributed RRSP, when you get older, you only get a less amount because you still have the CPP." And you told us that you better get the RRSP before you get the old age security. So that's gonna be when you are 65 years old, isn't it? The old age. So
Yeah.
when do you suggest for us to get that RRSP and also enlighten us how to get it, or should we get it monthly, something like that? Because I don't have any idea yet. Thank you.
No, that's a very, very good question, Marites. So one advice I will say to you is that, or to everyone, right? When it comes to this type of retirement planning, it's very unique to that person and to that family. Okay, there's no one general answer for everyone because everybody is in a different stage, different mindset, different factors in life, different, maraming factors, maraming, what do you call it, situations na unique to that person. So whatever solution you have has to apply only to you and not to others as well. So my thing with the RSP, so I'm going to go back to the foundation. Okay, so the reason why people nag-invest RSP is to lower their tax bracket, right? That's number one, because and then they will get a refund, which is good. But that investment RSP is tax deferred, so you will pay taxes no matter what later on. What I'm trying to say here is that the best optimal way for you to pay less taxes in RSP is if you were to retire early. Now you don't have old age security and CPP. Now you can defer them. So at the age of 65, you can defer CPP and old age security, no problem, and you can start collecting your RSP even at the age of 60, right? So to me, what you don't want to happen is that you have too much RSPs in your investment or in your portfolio, especially when you pass away, your last spouse passes away, or even if you're single, kasi it will end up, you might end up paying in a higher tax bracket, is what I'm saying. So it's really about planning. So kung gusto mong, so let's say kung gusto mo defer yung old age security and CPP and start collecting your RSP, you can do that because you can use it for, and if you are on a lower tax bracket, I mean, obviously, if you don't have CPP and you don't have old age security and you're not working, then wala kang income, but you can use your RSP as your income, right? So that will put yourself in a lower tax bracket, right? So that's the best way to deplete your RSP, because you know why? If you look at the tax bracket that I just showed you, the first 58,000, right? The first 58,000, how much you're paying? Very, very small, right? Very small, right? So to me, it's very, very beneficial. Now you really plan out when you want to retire. Now, obviously, when you have a digital business, it's a different story, right? I mean, I will share this with you guys. I did a go live. Yeah, I did a go live about yung guaranteed income. So guaranteed income is really CPP, old age security, right, and your pension plan. That's called guaranteed income. And you know what? For us who had gone through that exercise, it took us decades. Took us decades to build up our CPP and old age security. CPP and company pension. It took us many years, over 20 years, right, for you to get good pension, right? Would you agree? Would you agree na it took you a lot for you to build up yung CPP tsaka yung company pension? It takes you about more than 20 years to build. Now, that's what they call guaranteed income. But to be honest with you, hindi pa siya malaki. They're not the CPP and they're not company pension. They're not really as big as you think. Pero if you look at this digital business, right? So remember, we took decades to build our CPP and our what do you got, company
Old
pension.
age.
No, it's old age is based on residency. But I'm talking about the company pension and CPP.
Okay.
It took 2 or 3 decades, right? Pero this digital business will give you passive income already in 5-6 years, right? Maybe, diba? So to me, if you are in this digital business, the CPP and the company pensions like secondary na, kasi nga there's a good potential that you will get that guaranteed income from this business. But I guess what I'm saying is on the RSP side, the best way if you want really to optimize your taxes, you have to make sure you deplete your RSP as soon as you can. Use it for other things. Use it for saving for your son's house or something. Kasi nga the higher income you have or you're earning, the higher taxes you pay, and especially at the end when the last surviving spouse passes away, or let's say single ka, that RSP is not going to roll over to anyone. That RSP you'll have to pay, including all of your assets, to the government at 54% tax rate, right? So yung ina-avoid ng mga tao is really how to tax plan during retirement planning, right? But RSP is one of the highest one that you will get taxed on, especially kasi nga if it's over. Kasi hindi lang RSP eh. All of your assets, right? All of your assets will take you on a higher tax bracket over that 260,000. Kung ganun nga, right? Kung mga assets mo magiging 260,000 plus, which includes your RSP and your other assets as well, right? Other investments, then you're paying 54%. Okay? So yun yung ina-avoid ng mga tao is to be on a higher tax bracket. So but the best scenario would be is that for those people who are investing in RSP, dapat meron na silang plan to say, okay, I'm investing in my RSP, pero what I'll do is I'll retire early. So I will use my RSP as my income until I start collecting CPP and old age security and pension plans, right? Other pension plans. So it's really just planning to make sure that you are in a lower tax bracket. Yun lang. That's what it really is. Sorry, did that answer your question? I know.
Yeah, thank you. And one more thing, when you collect the RRSP, would it be monthly or depends sa usapan ninyo ng advisor mo? Because
Good question. Yeah, it's up to you. Monthly, quarterly, semi-annually, it's up to you.
But do you think that RRSP would, let's say, would give you income for 4 or 5 years or so? Let's say.
Depende sa how much you have. Depende how much you have in your RSP.
So if you claim that RRSP, the taxes will be deducted pa rin.
Oh yes, yeah, it's tax deferred, right? Tax deferred siya. So yeah, no matter what. Pero like I said, the best way is yung wala kang income, right?
Okay.
And you're collecting your RSP. Kasi pag tinignan mo yung taxation in Canada, the first, I think 58 or 53,000 or something, the first 53,000, you're paying very, very minimal tax, right? So pwede mong gawing you can do combination, right? You can start taking a bit of your RSP, right? Konti RSP, and then you have a bit of some income, whether it's part-time, right? As long as you're watching your tax bracket, right? If you're, yun lang naman yun eh. You just have to make sure that you watch the tax bracket kasi for every dollar above the tax bracket you're in, you have to pay a higher tax, right? Pero it's really just managing which tax bracket do you want to fall into when you start collecting your RSP. So parang minimizing lang your tax. Yeah. Pero what you don't want to happen is, like I said, pag namatay ka, if you pass away and you have so much of your assets in there, you're paying 54% to the government, right? Which is, to me, oh yeah, are you kidding me? 54%?
Lahati.
More
than half.
More than kalahati, 54% sa kanila. Tapos sa'yo, 46%.
I know.
Lugi ka, lugi.
Super lugi.
Yeah. So it's just really talaga it's planning lang talaga. Planning your income. And one advice I would say too is when you're starting to receive your mga income, you want to make sure that you're not paying yung 1 year, yung income mo high, tapos next year, yung income low, tapos next year high. You don't want to do yung ganon na income every year, right? Yung parang volatile. Kasi you want to parang level yung income mo every year so that you are on a very optimized tax bracket, right? So let's say, 49,000, 50,000, 49,000, 50,000 year over year, right? You don't want 100,000 1 year, tapos 60,000 another year, tapos 100,000 another year. Like, you don't want that because you're paying too much. The more money you have, the higher taxes you pay, right? What you want is steady, like, malit na increments, right? So it's all about really tax planning. Retirement planning is really about saving money and tax planning, really.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Any other questions? Oh, Claro.
Hi, Joseph.
Hello.
I have at least 3 questions.
Sure.
Number one, I heard from you when you said that for RRSP, the government would force you to convert it into RIF at the age of 71, but you
Yes.
said we can do that earlier.
Yes.
So
yes.
what is the advantage of doing that earlier rather than waiting for you to reach 71?
Very good question. Galing, galing. So again, it's all about tax planning, right? Kasi, so at the age of 71, if you have a lot of your RSP, a lot of money in RSP, meron siyang table eh. A government will force you to convert everything to RIF. Tapos you have to follow this table. This table now has a minimum requirement of withdrawing. Now,
Okay.
let's say yung minimum yun is, let's say 2,000, yung
Okay.
minimum withdrawal. That 2,000 could put you on a higher tax bracket, right?
Oh, I
Right?
see.
Kasi you have CPP, you may have old age security, right? You probably do at that at age 71. And if you were getting GIS, they will cancel out GIS on you, right? Kasi nga, you're already collecting your RSP. Kasi GIS is really for low income, right? So you're not only going to lose the GIS qualification, but you will also be on a higher tax bracket. Kasi nga, what will happen is that pag yung minimum payment na yon, kasi you have to take that minimum, otherwise you're going to get penalized. Pag yung minimum payment na yon is, I don't know, could be $2,000-$3,000, and that could put you on a higher tax bracket, then talo ka na, right? Talo ka na.
Oh,
And not only that, the thing is, meron pa isang ano yun eh, meron pang isang situation where you won't be able to, you might not be able to get GIS, that's one. Oh, clawback, right? So
oh yeah.
all day security,
Clawback,
yeah, all day security, once you reach at the age of 65, and if you're earning $94,000 to date, right, there will be a clawback on old age security.
Okay.
There will be 15 cents for every dollar you go over that threshold, you will get clawback. Okay, so that's
All
why
right.
that's why it's very, very important talaga to really try to minimize your income or manage your income to lower your tax implication or exposure. Para you're getting more money, right? We're getting more money, saving more money during retirement. Okay. Okay.
Okay, pero my question is, for example, if you wanted to convert that, if you wanted to convert your existing RRSP to RIF prior to the age of 71, but you're still gainfully employed, hindi ba ang effect nun, tataas yung tax bracket mo?
Yeah, and that's why you have to make sure you plan it very well. Totoo yan, tataas yung bracket mo. Pero you don't have a minimum amount to withdraw. You can withdraw it. There's no
Oh,
minimum.
okay.
Wala. So, yeah, marami ring misconception about the RIF. You can actually, before the age of 65, let's say you're age 60, you can actually convert it to RIF, your RSP.
Oh, really?
Yes. No, you don't have to wait until 71. You don't have to. You can convert your RSP into RIF at the age of 65 if you want, right? And you can start collecting if you want, whatever. You're not forced to collect, but you can convert to RIF. Now, the only difference between leaving it in RSP or RIF is because every time you withdraw an RSP, merong administration fee. But on RIF,
Yeah.
wala, right? Wala. There's only like one time, siguro 1 year payment of, I don't know, $50 or something like that.
So
to
Joseph, are you telling me na if we convert the RIF to the RSP to RIF at an earlier age, hindi ka obliged to withdraw yung compared to if you reach 71?
Correct.
Oh,
Correct. Yeah.
okay.
Pero I mean, why bother converting if you're not going to withdraw,
Oh, okay.
right? There's no point of you converting to RIF from RSP to RIF if you're not going to withdraw it. I would, if you're going to withdraw it and try to deplete your RSP, which a lot of people do, they convert it to RIF para hindi magastos yung admin fees.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Next question.
Mhm.
You said that TFSA is very good, right? Because whatever growth, whatever interest that you yield on it, it's tax free. But my question is there a maximum contribution to that?
Yeah.
May ceiling yon, di ba?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Every year. So before when it started, it was 10,500 before when it started.
Yeah.
1,500 by my favorite Prime Minister Harper is my favorite.
Okay.
10,500 before, pero ni-reduce nila ng 6,000, 5,000, tapos naging 6,000, naging 7,000 right now. I think 7,000 right now, right? But the total from the age of 18 to now, the total is about 203,000 at the maximum. 203,000 is the maximum contribution, I believe, per person, per person. So any growth that you have in a TFSA is tax-free. So here's one explanation I almost forgot now. So for those people who are on a higher tax bracket, let's say they're on let's say 100,000, ang income nila 100,000. I would recommend RSP is the first one that they invest in. Why? Because when they invest in RSP, it reduces their tax bracket, right? And they get refund. So number one is RSP. Now, if you are on a lower income tax bracket, I would not recommend RSP. I would recommend TFSA. I would recommend it because it defeats the purpose. Now they're on a lower tax bracket already. There's no point of putting in the RSP because they don't have to put themselves in a lower tax bracket. They're already in a lower tax bracket. So I would say invest in the on the TFSA
rather than RRSP.
Rather than RSP. Now, kung na-afford niyo, let's say, the person was able to put in 7,000 in the TFSA every year, which is good. Tapos may sobra or there's more money, then put in RSP, right? But for me, for those people in a lower tax bracket, TFSA is the first go-to, and then RSP the second.
And when you say lower tax bracket, what more or less what are we talking about here?
Good question. So anything under 25% tax rate is good enough, right?
Okay.
So anything under 29, was it 25? I think it's 25, 24 is good. Anything below that or on that is good, lower tax bracket. But anything higher than that, I would say invest in RSP then TFSA.
Okay. Last question, sorry.
Sure.
Last question. Because I remember when as early as when I was 58, I already received almost 60. I already received a letter from CRA na pwede na akong mag-avail ng CPP, right? However, a lot of people are saying wag mong a-avail at an early kasi nga hindi mo makukuha yun. Now, when you reach 65, I think that's the best time for you to get the CPP. Now, my question is, if you're receiving CPP already, because when you have to apply for you to get the CPP, right? Now, when you get the CPP at the age of 65, for example, is it automatic that the old age security would be given to you? Do you need to apply for it or?
You have to apply.
You have to apply for it.
You need to apply?
Yeah, you have to apply for it. Old age security, you have to apply. Now, so here's the Noah. So this is these are good questions, by the way. These are good questions. Pero I will say, please make sure that when you're doing your planning and your strategy, make sure that you think about your situation. Okay, your situation in terms of your financial goals, right? Because really speaking, everybody is different. So I know you might hear some friend, a friend of mine collected his CPP or old age security or whatever. That's good. That's good. Pero you hope that the person already really financially looked at their plans. Kasi alam naman natin, every decision, there's an impact to it. But you got to make sure that when you make those decisions, kasi you can't reverse them. You can't reverse. When you start collecting CPP or old age security, you cannot reverse it. You cannot. So you just have to make sure that, do I really need it or not? Or should I have it because maybe I'm not healthy, I'm not going to last long. Maybe I should start collecting CPP. Because you know why? Kasi some people make that argument You know what? Sasabihin nila, am I not
baka hindi na daw sila umabot ng 65.
Yes.
It's very true. It's very true.
No, it's true. Alam mo, it's disappointing. I mean, to be honest with you, it's very emotional to hear those people like that. It's very emotional talaga. Pero kaya nga sinasabi ko, you really have to look at it, in terms of your financial goals, right? Your plans, your retirement plans, and also with your spouse. You have to really look at it and say, is this really what we want to do? Because there's a break-even point. When you start collecting CPP or deferring it, there's that break-even point. Okay, if you collect it early at the age of 60, the break-even point, if I'm not mistaken, is about 74. 74. If you really do the math,
Mm.
74, right? Tapos you have to consider, oh, okay, how much do you think I will live, right?
Okay.
Some people will say, you know what, I don't think, based on the family history, they say, oh, I'm not going to live at the age of 85. So then if that's the history, then you got to look, okay, should I start collecting it? Because does it make sense for me to collect it? What's my break even point? Parang ganun eh. You have to do analysis talaga eh. And that's why I'm saying, don't always compare your situation to others, because others
Okay.
have uh, uh, different goals, different perspective, different situations. Kaya you have to look at it from your goals and your retirement goals and your financial goals. You really have to look at it that way. So for me to answer your question, should you collect your CPP at the age of 65? It depends. My question is, it all depends. I would sit down and really say, okay, do I need it? Do I want to
Yeah,
be?
especially if you're still gainfully employed, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Kasi if you get that, that is a taxable income as well, right?
Yes. Yes. It's taxable income. Yeah. Yeah. So really,
Okay.
really to me, it's really your comfort level. But to me, to be honest with you, I'll be honest, it's all about number game. It's really about a number game. No matter how you cut it, it's really about the number game, including investing. It's really about number. It's nothing emotional. When you make this decision, especially investing or retirement planning, it's not about emotions. It's about what makes sense in front of you
Okay.
financially. Because we all need money to live. Money
Yeah.
is a tool, but we need to survive using with the money, right? So really, it becomes really very factual and becomes really number driven talaga, number driven. Okay,
Okay.
so it's
Thank.
really, yeah, to me, some, like I said, some people will say, oh, I want to collect CPP because or sorry, here's the other thing. So when you and your spouse are collecting CPP, and your spouse, let's say, collecting the $800 CPP, which is the average, right? Pero the maximum is 1,300, okay? Maximum is 1,300. And then the spouse is collecting, let's say, 1,200, right? Or 1,300 CPP. When this spouse passes away, your surviving spouse can only get up to 1,300. Only up to 1,300. There's a cap on CPP. The surviving spouse will not get the 1,300 from your spouse that passed away. Will not. You will only the surviving spouse will only get a maximum of $1,300. Can you imagine
So
that? So
meaning
that's
kung meron na siyang nakukuhang amount, okay, I got it.
the government will only top up to 1,300.
Okay.
So imagine imagine
So for
nawala.
example, just for purposes of discussion, kung both of you are getting the max of 1,300,
Yeah.
tapos namatay yung isa, wala.
Yes.
Okay.
Zero.
Okay.
Nothing will roll over to the surviving spouse.
Okay.
So can you imagine that?
I
And
know.
and you've been paying CPP for how many decades?
Exactly, right?
Yeah, you have to be really, you have to think
You
about
really,
so many things.
yeah.
And
But
can
yeah,
I just add something na about
sure.
the OAS, Claro?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Um, Actually, they'll send it to you, the form.
yeah,
You don't need to
Oh,
call the CRA. It'll just come in the mail. Because my husband just got it.
yeah.
yeah,
He,
exactly.
he, he didn't even call it. He just got a letter in the mail. And so I guess it's saying it's time. Apply for your old
Oh,
age.
okay.
So
Okay.
yeah, it just comes in the mail. And you don't have to
Okay.
call or anything like that. That's sort of, yeah. I
All
just
right.
wanted to let you know.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So I really, really just stress not the fact that na talaga you need to just plan. Try to plan. Kahit
Oh,
kahit simple muna. Just plan for something. Take account those factors. Yung mga factors na, how long will I live, kind of thing, mga scenarios. Kasi when it comes to this type of planning, it is a journey. I'm telling you, hindi one shot o hindi one time planning yan. It's
yeah. Yeah.
iterations, may mga
Correct.
iterations. siya.
Yeah.
So, but once you have the base,
Yeah.
madali siya.
Mas
Madali.
madali. Yeah.
Yeah, madali, madali. So don't get discouraged kasi nga sa una syempre, oh my God, sa ko kukunin itong mga information. Where am I going to get this information, di ba? But don't get discouraged kasi at the end talaga you will save thousands when you do the planning properly. You will save thousands. Talaga. I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding you. You will.
Okay. Thank you
Um,
very much,
question,
Joseph.
Welcome.
Joseph.
Yeah.
Did you mention the TFSA room, isn't it 110?
No. Yeah. It's about
The limit is 110, isn't it?
is it 100? Sorry. Yeah, maybe you're right. No, it's 100. No, I have to go back to my wait. Let me go back. Let me go back to 100 and ba? 110 ba?
I know it's 110 or 109,000.
Yeah, sorry. Maybe I was talking about for two people. Yeah. You're right. I think it's 109,000. Yeah. You're right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you for that. Thank you for clarifying it.
Okay.
Kasi I was tracking for both kasi my wife and I. Sorry.
That's per person, di ba?
Yes. Yeah. The 109 is per person. Yes.
Yeah.
Kaya nga sabi ko 200 something earlier, right? Kasi nga,
Yeah, 270 sabi mo. Okay.
yeah, something like that. Yeah. Kasi
Yeah.
I was tracking for both. Sorry about that. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so it's good to, so I have a question actually.
Yeah.
Kasi my investments are all like registered right now.
Yeah.
So my financial advisor said that because I'm moving my investment to his company, and he said he's gonna put it into so he's gonna transfer to his company to my account there, but he's gonna slowly put it into my TFSA, which is, that's I mean I have, yeah.
Top up. That's a good idea. Everybody should be trying to top up their TFSA.
Yeah.
Kasi you tax-free, right?
Yeah.
There's tax-free. Can you imagine? Can you
But
imagine?
when you transfer the register to FSA, you're still gonna take tax,
Yeah.
right? You still have to
Depends.
pay tax.
No,
Yes.
depends. No, it depends where it's coming from. So there's two, I believe there's two distinctions. One is where it's coming from, and number two, if it's in kind, transferring in
It's
kind.
going in kind. It's going
Okay.
in kind.
Then if it's going in kind,
No?
no,
Okay.
no disposition, no tax disposition, no. If it's in kind, make sure it's in kind.
Yeah, it has to be.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to okay, yeah, it has to be in kind.
Yeah, make sure you have it in writing, Make sure in writing.
Joseph, what do you mean by it has to be in kind?
There's no tax disposition, meaning they're not gonna sell and buy.
Oh,
Transfer
okay.
the whole assets.
Yeah, it's transferred within the same. You can call it umbrella. So walang tax disposition yon. Walang tax disposition.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's what they call it. So in kind is what they mean by that. Yeah. So
Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
Investment question yan, Good question.
Yeah. I'll ask you privately on whatever that is. I think Azzy and her husband have a question here.
Sure.
About household tax bracket.
Hi, Kuya Joseph.
Hello.
It was actually answered earlier in preferable tax percentage to have for the household income later on once you've retired. I've actually retired and Asnet is still working, so I've retired early. But I was just going to ask a question. It's way in the future and we never know, but God willing, it's much further in the future. Is there anything we can do to make it easier on survivors when so much of our assets, when we're closer to that time, will be taxable income that we can do ahead of time?
That's a very, very good question. And the best answer I could have is make sure you have a will. Okay, number one, now you have a will, and in that will, you have to have the disbursements of assets, how you want to disperse your assets. Now, a lot of rich people, what they do is they donate. They donate, right? And to obviously, registered uh, companies or whatever. But obviously, you also want to leave to your kids, and so when you have it in your will, and them becoming a beneficiary, as in your kids, then there's no tax implication on them, right? The beneficiary, there's no tax, but it depends on the asset that you're living. You're going to live with them. Like, let's say if you have an investment home, that is a capital gain tax, right? So they will but so when both of you pass away, that's going to be declared as a tax disposition, the investment home, and you're going to get tax capital gains. But to protect you further from paying the higher tax bracket, is really to start gifting your assets. Gifting your assets, meaning, so if you have investments, you can. So let's just say RSP, right? You start depleting RSP, and that RSP you can be given to your kids, and they can use it to top up their TFSA.
Yeah.
Right? Their whole FHSA is another one, right? So that's one way. So in Canada, there's no tax on gifts, none. Okay.
No.
In the US, there is. In the US, there. So to me, my advice is, if you really want to start planning, you gotta really plan out as to how you want to disperse your assets, obviously in an optimized tax manner, right? And to me, gifting your asset is one of them, before it goes to the estate, right?
Yeah.
What your goal to the estate is to have minimal assets, because it will reduce your probate and it will reduce your taxes overall.
Okay.
Right? So gifting it, slowly, once you reach the age of, 85, whatever, say, you know what, I'm going to start gifting my asset to whoever, right? My kids, whoever. And I think that's the best way. That's the best way. Now, it depends on the asset. If it's an investment home, then you sell it. Or, you sell it, right? And pay the capital gains, right?
Yeah.
And then take that, take the funds and do whatever you want to do with it, right?
And enjoy.
Enjoy. Yes, enjoy. Enjoy.
Yeah.
Yeah, really. No, seriously, enjoy your life, because, a lot of people, I always say this, right? People, the retirement age in Canada is 65. And if they look at their family history, they only live until age of 80. 15 years to enjoy your life. Is that enough? Right? To me, if you work so hard, you work for 50 years, and to have 15 years left at the age of 65, after the age of 65, I'm not even, I mean, 15 years is not enough, is what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
You have to enjoy, you have to at least try enjoy your life. And the thing is, you don't know if you're going to be healthy, but by the age of 75,
Yeah.
how healthy or how mobile you're going to be by the age of 75. That's why it's important to have that 3 stages of retirement, right? To really think about that, right?
Yeah.
Good question.
Thank you.
Joseph, I think we have Gemma,
Yeah.
Lisa, and Vic and Mavic to ask questions. So, Gemma, you can start.
Joseph,
Parang depressed naman yun. It's okay, we're talking about we're gonna get older. It's so depressing to think, really. Pero
yeah,
but we have to think about this. It's hard to
Yeah.
it's hard to accept that we're getting older.
yeah, this is reality actually. Actually, I appreciate this information, workshop pa to or what, retirement planning, na-appreciate ko. Parang it's my emotion right now is mixed. Kinakabahan ako. Kinakabahan, but at the same time, so grateful that I discovered this business.
Yes.
The online business is not a cliche, but really, I just said, oh Lord, buti pala na-discover ko to. Imagine kung hindi.
Yeah.
Matanda na kami, pumunta kaming Canada early 40s. So, tama yung sinabi natin ni Joseph. Thank you, Ying, talaga. My question is actually, Joseph, meron bang do you have I don't know if this is available, but do you have like a planning template? yung what to consider. Parang ang dami mo kasi information. Kasi you
She
said
missed
that
the first part of the Zoom.
Oh, okay. I was
Yeah, she
driving.
has that.
Yeah, that was only my question. Parang I know, ano ba yung mga dapat i-prepare? Ano bang dapat, ano ba yung factors na, what are the things that I need to prepare for retirement planning, you know? Parang
Yeah,
alam kung ano yung pieces of,
yeah,
documents that
it's really a journey, no? So financial literacy, it covers the budgeting. First thing is the budgeting, finding out how, what's your budget and what's your lifestyle, right? Budgeting. Then the budgeting becomes an input towards your financial planning, right? So when you do your financial planning, that becomes an input towards investing, right? Investing then becomes input to your retirement planning, and then retirement planning becomes your input to the estate planning. So I would say it really is a journey. So start with the budgeting, right? To understand what your lifestyle is. Kasi when you do the budgeting, it will be useful towards your retirement planning. It's really something that you will not let go of it kasi nga, you can just keep tweaking it. You're just tweaking your budgeting towards your financial planning and retirement planning, whatever. It flows really well. So what I would recommend is if you are banking with, obviously, if you have an account with the bank, they have free financial advisors, and they can start with that as well, right? They'll offer you whatever. It's free, by the way. It should be free. Don't pay. So don't pay for financial advice if you have an account with them. You are entitled to have a financial planner or financial advisor for free. Okay, whatever bank you're using. Okay, so I would start, kasi marami rin silang tatanong sa'yo, okay, what are your expenses? What are your income? What are your investments? I don't know, and then they'll put it together. So I can share with you guys a spreadsheet about budgeting, right? I can share that with you. And then you can just plug in the numbers, right? Kasi again, that will be kasi when you have that, it's so easy to tell the financial advisor, okay, here, can you plug it into your system, right? Ito yung mga expenses, ito yung mga income ko, ito yung mga assets ko. Ano siya, data input lang eh. But the difference is that I've noticed is when it comes to execution, these professionals may sound very very knowledgeable, but when it comes to execution, this is where a big question mark comes in, right? Kasi when you start really peeling the onion, when you're really diving into the nitty-gritty,
I got muted. Joseph, you're muted.
detail. I am?
We didn't hear you there. Did you guys hear him?
Oh, sorry. No,
No,
my
no.
my internet is unstable. Sorry. Sorry. Okay. Sandali,
Just the last 2 seconds.
Okay. So, I was saying na, ano ba to? Oh, yeah, yung mga professionals, no? When it comes to execution, when you want them to do things for you na, you want, let's say for example, oh, can you please tell me my meltdown strategy, or how do I deplete certain assets? And parang naman ganun yung mga, they don't have it kasi they don't have the expertise or they don't have the experience, right? So kaya this session is very, very important, kasi once you learn how to do the retirement planning, you are the closest person towards your information, right? So you're the one that is really driving the conversation, and at the same time, you know what it is that you're looking for. Pero sila, nahihirapan sila kasi they can't really adapt, or they cannot really understand yung situation, what you really want as part of your goal. So what I'm saying is, you really have to be the one managing it and being very careful when it comes to planning. Kasi ikaw,
We lost you again.
sorry, you lost me again?
Yeah, it's okay. Half a second.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah. So I guess what I'm saying is, when it comes to retirement planning and stuff like that, even investing, you cannot rely on others. You really have to, sure, you can learn from them, but when it comes to execution and when it comes to something that you want done, they might not be able to deliver kasi nga, they really don't know all of the factors and the details behind it, right? So you're the one that's closest to whatever you want to do, your goals. You have to actually try your best to execute it yourself. Now, the only difference, what I'm saying is, sila naman, they're certified, right? They're certified professionals. The reason why they're certified is because they can sell you stuff. They can sell you products and stuff, right? Pero sometimes where they're lacking is the actual tools that will make you understand your scenarios. Kasi when you're doing the planning, multiple scenarios yun eh. How about if I retire at 65? What about if I retire at 70? What about if my lifespan is 90, age 90? You have to play around with those scenarios, right? That's where the professionals lack, is when it comes to the scenarios that what you want in life. Kasi you have to choose which scenario you want, diba? Pero you have to play around with it first. So there are tools out there, right, that are affordable that you can do yourself. But you pay, pero hindi expensive. I think I paid $4 or $5 for 1 year to use that tool. It's called advice.ca. It's a retirement planning tool, right? So again, I'm not selling you anything. I just want you, for this situation, for this session, I want you to just understand and be aware of all these things. The planning side, it will start happening once you start with your budgeting, your financial planning, and then you can skip the investing. You don't have to do the investing part if you don't want. But to me, it's just a normal flow of financial planning, investing, and then retirement planning. But you can skip the investing part. You can just go financial planning and retirement planning if you want, right? I guess what I'm just saying is it starts from budgeting, right? And understanding what would be your lifestyle moving forward when you retire. What is the life that you want when you retire, right? Okay?
Okay, I think
you.
Lisa has a question.
Yeah.
Good evening, everybody. Good evening,
Good
Kuya
evening.
Joseph. Yeah, yeah. My question is there really a right or perfect age that is best to start retirement planning? Because in my case, I'm already in my 50s. So can I still catch up? And also for a married couple, is it better to plan retirement jointly or individually?
Jointly. So first, your question was jointly or individually? Joint, especially in Canada. Because in Canada, you have a bigger tax advantage when you do joint, even tax filing and planning. If you're single in Canada, you're in a very big disadvantage in Canada kasi nga of the tax brackets, right? When you're joined, you can actually do income splitting at the age of 65. When you do income splitting, it lowers your tax bracket, right? So instead of one person paying $100,000 in one tax bracket and your spouse pays $50,000 tax bracket, you're disadvantaged already kasi nga the higher tax person is paying a higher marginal tax. Where if you income split, it will be the same. It'll be, I don't know, what is that, 70,000 or 75,000, whatever,
75.
right?
Yeah.
75. So you will be on that tax bracket, which is a very efficient tax bracket, right? So income splitting is very, very important at the age of 65 when you do your retirement planning.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Pero
there's no perfect age or
no, so to me,
perfect.
to me it's very unique. To me, it's very unique. When it comes to the age, because there's so many factors to consider, right? How long do you want to work for, or how long do you want to enjoy your retirement, or when do you want to enjoy your retirement? How long are you going to live? Maraming factors. Oh, what about kids? Do you want to save up for your kids? Do you want to leave some inheritance? Maraming factors siya. Pero to me, obviously, the earlier you can retire, you're better off. The earliest, the better, as long as you can afford it, right? That's my main parang my motto is, if you can retire now and try to enjoy life now. As long as you have the income to support it, then yeah, by all means, retire as early as you can. But if you have other obligations, right, other things that you have to think about and save, then that will determine the age in which you retire. But we are very lucky about this digital business because this digital business offers passive income.
Yeah.
The passive income is the guaranteed income we've all been looking for with everybody. That right now, anybody that's employed, right now, everybody that's working, what they're working towards is the guaranteed income, which is the passive income.
Yeah.
Lahat marami sila na they waited until decades until they're going to start receiving their pension plan or CPP. That took decades, and yet CPP is only $800 average.
Mhm.
But in this business you have a passive income of what, 5,000 at least minimum.
Yeah.
Diba?
Monthly, consistent.
Yeah, monthly, right? So to me, everybody should be jumping on this business. This is what I don't understand. This is what I don't understand. What I don't understand is that should be the main reason why people should be looking for a business, is the passive income. Why would they not even look for a business that don't have passive income? I don't understand. Diba?
Mhm.
Simple, right?
Thank
So
you,
to answer
Joseph.
to answer your question, there's the age. It's really up to you as long as you can afford it. Retire as early as you can.
Yes, and apply it jointly. Yeah.
And apply jointly, yes. In Canada, for sure.
Thank you. Thank you, Joseph.
Welcome.
Okay. The next one, I think it's Vic, Sis Mavic.
Hello, everyone. Hi, Joseph. Thank you so much for this very knowledgeable evening. I mean, really enjoying it, and it feels like I'm going to retire again.
Good. Good for
Yes.
you.
Yeah. By the way, yes, I am retired. I used to work for the government of Alberta.
Wow.
So now I just want to mention to you that the guaranteed income also is I'm receiving. It's called a public service pension plan.
Oh, okay.
So when I reach 65, I will have a CPP and also the old age pension, right? So I will have 3. So what they did with that public service pension plan, they took the 5 years average of my salary, and that's what I am receiving, percentage of that. So with the RRSP, I also contributed the maximum of that RRSP and also my TFSA because this is one advice that I could give to everyone who is planning to retire. You do this within 5 years that you're planning to retire. I was we have a financial advisor, and you have mentioned too that you're budgeting, you're planning retirement. I've been to that, and it was really helpful because you are really planning your lifestyle later, your lifestyle assessment, right? So that helped me a lot because your lifestyle, see your expenses, see if you still have your mortgage, your expenses, your groceries, your utilities. And what surprised me when he have given me that is that your social lifestyle, like how many parties do you go every month? Do you budget $500 a gift? And just like, oh my gosh, I mean, So if you retire, can you still remember or can you still provide those gifting for that much every month? So it was really an open, an open mind for me. Right?
Yes.
So imagine that. Okay, if you are 50 right now and you want to retire at the age of 55, look at your assets, your investments, your income, your lifestyle expenses, right? So you really have to with what you have, but you have to live up comfortably. So right. So I know my lifestyle now as a retired, I don't spend as much as we used to, but we're living comfortably. My question to that, my question is, okay, for the RRSP contribution, okay, you have mentioned that, or probably my financial advisor will tell me this too, that the government will force you to turn it into REF.
Yes. At age 71.
At age 71.
Yeah.
So at age 71, plus all my guaranteed income, will that be added to the tax as well?
Yep.
Oh,
Yep.
okay.
So old age security and GIS is non-tax. But
Okay, the GIS, how do you qualify for that GIS?
sorry, GIS might be just I don't know. Do you have that in Calgary? I'm not sure if it has it in Calgary, GIS. It's called Guaranteed Income Supplement.
I think if you have a lower income
Yes.
Yeah,
for
that's
Yeah,
what I
union.
thought.
both
That's it.
couple,
That's it.
yeah.
Yeah, that's
So
it.
we wouldn't be qualified for that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
one, if you are receiving, let's say if you have a pension plan from the company that you work for, you will
Yes.
automatically will not qualify for GIS. Because the threshold of GIS for a single person is 22,000.
Yeah,
Okay.
So
yeah.
if you're
Yeah.
below 22,000, you will receive GIS. Pero as a household, I think it's 42,000 ata for a household. You won't qualify for GIS if it's 42,000 for the household.
Yeah, I also phoned them, like if I have to apply for the CPP and the old age pension, will my public service pension plan will be reduced? And they said no, I will get it the same amount as long as I die. So I got okay, good.
Yeah, no, that's good. That's good. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
But see, the
yeah,
thing, this is the reason why it's so important to plan. Kasi if you plan it in the
right.
right way, you can get the GIS. You can, if you plan it the right
Oh,
way, meaning deferring, except for those people that have company pension. So if you have a company pension, you will definitely not qualify GIS. But if you don't have company pension and you will only collect old age security, you will qualify for GIS. Kasi nga, you can defer all the other things. And here's the other thing. Remember I mentioned tax-free savings account is tax-free. You know,
yeah.
when you plan it really well, and you need, let's say you're earning $40,000, right? During retirement, 40, and then you needed money to buy, I don't know, a car or something.
Mhm.
If you take that money from TFSA, it's tax-free.
Yes, yeah.
So that 40,000 that you're earning, and you took 20,000 from your TFSA to buy a car, that will not count as your income. That 20,000 will not.
Mhm,
So
mhm.
use your TFSA when you need to. It's
Yeah.
tax-free.
Yeah.
Right? So that's why planning is so important talaga.
Yes,
Kasi
yes.
you can take advantage of your TFSA without going over the tax bracket, right? Kasi it's tax-free. So for large, like emergency expenses, and you have to pull something, instead of pulling from your other investment, pull it from TFSA, and then you can replenish it the next year. So what I normally do is every December, if I know I'm going to need money. So let's say travel, let's say we need money for travel. Every December, I pull my TFSA out, right? So let's say 5,000, whatever. And the following January, which is a month after, I put it back in. So guess what? I didn't lose the whole year of interest growth on my TFSA. I only lost 1 month. Or not even, sometimes weeks lang. Kasi I pull it December before Christmas, and then by January, I don't know, 10, 2nd, 3rd, I put it back in.
Put
right?
it back in, yeah.
So you don't lose from your TFSA kasi it's only a few weeks,
Mhm.
right? And you put it back in already, and it starts earning already, right? So
Yeah.
all these things they don't teach you at school. They don't teach you, even other advisors would not even teach you that. Pero if you really plan it really well based on what your goals are, and you can do this. Everybody can do it. Everybody can do it as long as you just have it all written down. Talaga, it can be done. It can be done, right?
Yeah, yeah. Thank you. And also, actually, when you said you're planning your retirement, it's also good to really have a good like source. So, like for me, I was buying books from Amazon, like Blueprint of Retirement, and what to expect when you retire, those kind of thing, because it's a life change, and.
Yeah.
The bottom line is, of course, you have the money to retire, like you can afford to have a retirement lifestyle, right? But before that, you also have to invest your time to reach those financial stability. And yeah, actually, this is really, really, really good. And you had mentioned about the CCP, public or your financial goals. So it's really good. I'm learning a lot. Thank you so much. Thank
Oh,
you.
I'm glad that you're learning something. Yeah. And really, to be honest with you, all you need is the tools to do the scenarios for you, right? Kasi gusto mo lang makita yung scenarios right? The different scenarios, right? This is how much money I have. This is how much I'm going to get. This is my lifestyle. This is my expenses. This is how long I'm going to live. Show
Right.
me the scenario one or wherever. Tapos show me another scenario. And really, it comes down to which scenario do you want? Do you prefer? So you just actually need that tool. And that's the only difference between me and the certified financial advisors. But I mean, I know they sell you products and services, but to me, all I needed was the tool. Just give me the tool and I will plug in the numbers for myself. And I can do it. I can select whichever scenario I want to happen, diba? And then you just call CRA and say, oh, how much am I going to get CPP at the age of 60 or 65 or 70, right? Or how much am I going to get all security at age 65 or 70? And you just plug the numbers. You just plug the numbers because it's going to follow the scenario that you want, diba? So that tool, again, is advice.ca. And I only paid, I'm pretty sure I paid $4 or $5 for the whole year. Well, it's once a year. Advice.ca. So it's advice, double I, ADVIICE.ca.
Okay.
And that's the tool I use for financial and retirement planning.
Okay, I have a next question here from Imelda.
Yeah, Coach, I think
So
there's questions on the chat, I think, yeah.
yeah, go ahead, Sis Imelda, are you there? Okay. She's not there.
Oh, okay.
But her question is, when you mention admin fee, how much are you talking about? Are you talking about $1,000? And then do you mean to say if we put in a will that our house, for example, is a gift to one of our children in order for my children not paying tax?
Yeah. Okay. So first question is, sorry, what was the
The
first?
admin fee.
Yeah,
The
admin fee.
fee.
Admin fee, if you are on RRSP, not RIF, okay? Because the RIF, they won't charge you admin fee towards RIF. So RRSP, if you're withdrawing funds, some financial institutions will charge you between $25 to $50 per withdrawal. Per withdrawal. Okay, $25 to $50. I didn't want to pay that, so I did the RIF. So I did the RIF instead. But it's the same investment. So RRSP, they convert it to RIF. It just changes the account, but the investment still remains the same. Doesn't change. Okay, so it's still the same investment. Okay, you're just changing the account to RIF. Okay. The next question is the will. So your primary home, you can gift to your beneficiary, whoever it is, your family, your daughter, your grandchildren, and that would be tax-free because it's your primary home. Now, if it's an investment home, it's different. They will the estate or the CRA will deem that to be your income. So you would have to, they'll base the value on fair market value, and then they will calculate the capital gains from that. Okay, and the capital gains is 50% of the gains only, of the gains. Okay, from the time that you purchased the home and the time that you turned it into an investment. Okay.
Okay. Any
Are there
more
any
questions?
that it's so much there's so much I know we haven't even scratched the surface on investing and financial planning, but this is all
We
just
don't we can't do it all at once.
oh yeah, no, we
So
won't.
I actually I want to share this to everyone who are in their 60s. Yung mga young ones pa, okay lang sa inyo yan. But I just discovered today that someone told me that there's Ontario drug benefit plan. Did you guys know that? It's in Ontario Drug Benefit Program. When you turn 65,
Yeah.
you are automatically covered by the Ontario government. So I don't know if there's one in Alberta or BC, I don't know. But I just found out today. So not that I'm 65 yet, but it's something to put it in your, in
Yeah.
mind. If you're retiring and trying to think about your health benefits, so you can do your benefits through your company, through insurance right now, but when you hit 65, you're actually covered by Ontario Drug Benefit Program.
Yeah.
And then if there are prescriptions that could not be covered sometimes, but then if you have the insurance we have other insurance, it'll kick into that right away.
Yeah.
I just found that out today.
Yeah. Sis Bernadette said they have it in BC.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. That's good. That's good. Oh,
Yeah.
wow. Canadian talaga, ha?
It's
Galing,
federal.
galing.
I think it's federal. That's why.
Is it federal? Okay,
I
perfect.
think so. I
Perfect.
think so. It's federal. It's just different names between different provinces, I think.
That's right. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. Well, I just want to share that. So anybody else have a question? It's already 10:21. 10:21. Oh my God. Almost 2 hours.
Almost 2 hours? Wow, that's pretty good. That's pretty
Come on,
good.
guys. Question. Ask the question. There is no stupid questions, okay?
Yes, there are no stupid questions. Yeah, totoo yan. It's true.
Just
It's-
ask.
Yeah.
Because this is a free session. Some will ask you to pay to come in. Joseph is not charging us.
No, of course not.
He'll
No,
charge me.
no. I love sharing. I love sharing this information because everybody needs to know these things talaga. It's very important part of our life.
Yeah.
Gemma has a question.
Yeah, hi again. So, where do you go to for the will planning?
For which one? Will? Oh,
Will?
yeah, you would have to. So,
Lawyer.
yeah, so
Okay.
alam nyo, you can in Canada lang, not US, in Canada lang, you can actually write your will copying from a template, you know that, and then you just have to sign and date it. So as long as it's your handwriting, you can actually, but you can actually just go to a lawyer. They should charge you, I don't know, $600 maybe for a will, but make sure you have power attorney. Okay, the two things, right? Power attorney of property and personal care. The power attorney is very, very important. Even the banks need the power attorney, believe it or not. Okay. Yeah, $700 Imelda paid, $700, but yeah, it's around $600-700 for will to be done. But make sure it has the power attorney. Okay. Again, personal care and property. Okay.
The one that you said, if you're just gonna make a template on your own and then sign it, do they acknowledge that?
Oh yes.
It's
In-
yeah.
Only in
It's
Canada,
valid.
huh? Only in Canada, yes, it's valid. You just have to sign it and you have to date it, right? You don't even have to notarize it. No, you can notarize it if you want, but a signature and a date is suffice. Now, I mean, if you're gonna get a power attorney anyway, you might as well get your will done too, right? So, just a power attorney, you have to go through lawyers for that. So.
So is that the range though, the amount? Because Coach Marites here says she paid $800 for the will
Yeah.
and power of attorney.
Yeah, there's
That's
a
the rate?
That's a range. Yeah, 600 to 800 is probably, yeah, it's about right. It's about right. And that's for
Wow.
that's for two. That's for
Yeah.
spouse. Yeah, okay, yeah.
So
Dito
that's for
sa
the mag-asawa na yon.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, yeah. That's for
Yeah.
your spouse and yourself. Yeah. Sa what was I gonna say? Sa Canada, I forgot. I was gonna say sorry. Sa US, will and trust are the two important documents. Will and trust sa US. Sa Canada, it's will and power attorney. Yep.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Oh, wow. Ang dami ko naman natutunan ngayon.
know, it took-
Nakakaloka.
It took me 7 to 8 years to learn this. 7 to 8 years. Pero I'm still learning. I'm still learning. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I really think that it's very important information to share. even with the kids, we have to teach them financial literacy, invest as early as they can. Yeah.
Thank you for
All
sharing.
right. So if you guys don't have any more questions, we can wrap it up.
Yeah, every day is a
Thank you for
learning session.
sharing, Joseph.
Huh?
Thank you for sharing.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome.
Okay, mag-picture muna tayo.
Thank you
Oh,
very
picture.
much.
Say cheese. Thank you very much, Brad.
Thank
Welcome.
you.
Ikaw na
you.
mag-picture,
Thank
Scout
you.
Parites.
Thank you. Thank
Thank you,
Thank
Sis
you.
Ying.
Okay, say
Thank
cheese.
you.
Cheese.
Cheers.
Say money.
Money, money,
Money.
money.
Honey.
Anyone taking a video, Sising? Nag-video
Yeah,
ka?
I am. Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Oh,
Hi, guys.
hi.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank
Okay,
you.
welcome.
Good night.
Thank you
Okay,
po.
thank you
Thank
guys.
Bye.
Good
Thank you so
night.
much,
Good
night.
Joseph. Everyone,
Bye.
thank you.
Maraming salamat. Thanks.
Welcome.
Halika nito. God bless. Bye.
Thank you, Ating.
Thanks, Sising.
Thank you,
You're
thank you.
Happy
welcome.
retirement.
Thank you for
Yeah.
having me here.
Thank you,
I
Ying.
know.
Bye.
Bye-bye.